Usually when I'm chatting up people, I'm like, hey, how are you? How is family? So they were like, but why do you always ask me how is family? And I told them, I've come to realize all this time that whatever we're doing it for family. One thing in the corporate world that people need to do is positioning themselves for the next success. And most importantly, need to have people on the other side, a sponsor, a mentor, a coach.
Those that go in rooms that you're not.
Yes, those are in the rooms that you're not, and they can defend your name actually in those rooms that you're not.
Three, two, one. So today we are back again with corporate realities, and today we have none other than Ernest, and he likes calling himself Annie. And he's going to briefly introduce himself, how he likes the world to know him, and we shall go into our topic for today, which is unwritten corporate rules 101. Annie, please.
Okay, I'm glad to be here, and
Firstly,
thanks for.
good to have you here. I don't know how many kilometers you had to drive and ride to get here, just to honor my invitation for this podcast.
I can imagine. We come a long way, Sheila. We come a long way.
How many years are those?
I'm talking 2000.
No, don't mention the years.
Okay.
Yeah, there are very many years.
Very many years,
There are
actually.
very many years.
13 or something. Okay, somehow.
Let's not talk about the
it
years.
slipped, man.
There are very many
Yeah.
years.
So we come a long way, and definitely when you actually reached out to me and told me about it after what I'd posted, I was like, no, I mean, why not? Let's talk about it, because everybody's going through it. So it's just a matter of people putting it out there more, people get to understand. Maybe it could impact somebody, maybe somebody's going through it right now. So yeah, the distance I moved I wouldn't really mind.
Yeah.
It's an impact that
Thank you.
that this can cause to somebody.
Thank you.
Anytime, any day of your life.
So just to give you a brief about our corporate realities, we talk about things that are happening in the corporate world that have shocked some people. Others have left the corporate spaces and gone back to farming. Others are still home. There is a lot. People get to the point of getting depressed. Also, others work so hard, but they don't see progress within their corporate spaces. So we are talking about these things and saying, is there anything we can do differently? Is everyone going through the same, or others have learned how to navigate? And what are those things they have learned? Now, this podcast gives us a platform to share everything, the things that are shocking us and the things that we can learn from in order for all of us to thrive. Again, we are in our productive age. Not very many people are going to be... I want to think that business is not a calling for everyone.
Yeah.
There are those ones who are meant to be entrepreneurs, open up businesses, and there are those that are meant to work for those in businesses. Yeah. So now they are the corporates. We have to work with the shareholders and the people with big monies. But how do you thrive while at it? This is why we have this platform called Corporate Reality Check. And you are the 7th or 8th guest. I'll check. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Do you want to know the people who have been here before?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind knowing who's been here before.
I've had Viola.
Our
queen of ethics.
I know.
Yes, we've had the councils,
That's
lawyers.
all Viola.
Yes, we've had lawyers talking about why you must understand your employment contract.
Yeah.
Because again, people get the contracts excited, they accept jobs, and as they walk their journey, things happen and they fail to interpret what is happening. To go back to the contract, there are some clauses they did not read. Yeah. So the lawyer, you check on YouTube. Patrick told us about the importance of reading your employment contract. Clause by clause. Also, when we did the research, we found out that people are bullied at work. Yeah. Bullying is a lot. They explain others inherit bullying from their schools, previous schools, kindergarten, primary, secondary. They come in the workplaces. They still have that. They were bullied, they also bully.
Yeah.
Or some have been bullies and they don't know how not to bully. So you find those guys in corporate spaces and they are bullying others. We talked about those as well. I had a counsel, Rachel Amuge, talked about bullying at work, how it manifests and what you can do about it. Then we talked about the mess in the corporate space. And Viola, the queen of ethics, talked about the mess in the corporate space. Oh my God.
I can imagine.
You need to watch that.
I can imagine.
You need
That's
to
a topic close to Viola's heart.
You need to
I
watch
can tell.
that video.
Yes.
Yes, we've had a number of things. We've also had detours, career detours.
Yeah.
You went to school and studied. I don't know what you studied. What did you study?
Accounting.
Accounting.
Yeah.
You ended up in sales.
Sales,
marketing.
marketing.
Now you're doing
research and decision intelligence.
Yes. So now decision intelligence. Now we talked about detours. We had Dr. Innocent, who was a vet.
Daktari.
And how did he leave veterinary?
I know, right?
To go to
He's an entrepreneur, he's marketing.
Media.
I know.
Yes, we talked about all those things. So there are also people out there who are struggling with, I feel I am old, I cannot detour. You can't detour at any one point in your life. Now today we have you.
Great.
We've talked quite a lot before you introduced yourself, so I need you to introduce yourself to our viewers. Yes.
Hello, viewers out there. My name is Ernest Ssekisonge. Mostly known as Annie. That's a short of Ernest. Yeah. I've been a salesman for most of my life, I think. Yeah, across a number of companies that I've worked for. But currently, I'm dealing in market research and decision intelligence. Decision intelligence is a new, it's It's an emerging industry that leverages mostly AI and data and consumer behavior and behavior science just to help people, organizations understand and make better decisions. So that's where I'm at now, market research and decision intelligence. It's a lovely space to be in because, really, it's emerging and it's very engaging. Yes.
I want to imagine.
Yes.
Right now, everyone wants to data-driven decisions.
Exactly.
They refer to data-driven decisions.
Exactly.
So Annie here is trying to tell us that data-driven decisions, you need the data and is an expert in mining that data. Is that what you're trying to do?
We do actually. Mining is one thing because when you mention mining, people think of, okay, fine, I have my secondary data. I'm going to get in there, mine it, and make sense of it. That's part of it. But for us, we mostly into actually primary proprietary data. We get the data from the source, primary proprietary data. We've been doing it actually for the last over 10 years across Africa. We're in 21 countries already doing that. And 10 years of data. So we have 10 years of data. Now that's the trended data. 21 countries in Africa. That's now aggregated data. So this data is primary data from people trying to understand Africans, who they are, how they feel, what they do, how do they behave. So that's the kind of data we deal with at where I'm actually working at currently at KASA Insight. So we have that. But again, we can also go ahead and do for you any other projects you want us to do, as long as it means you want market research, understanding your consumers, understanding your products, understanding your segments, all that we can do. Yes.
I'll be very interested to ask more questions about these insights because right now when you're talking about anything consumer, the evolving markets, the target audience, because our behaviors are changing every day, I would have been interested to go deep into that, but this is not the platform for that. We shall have a conversation for that.
I hear you.
But it's very important. What you're doing is great. So in your own words, today we're talking about unwritten corporate rules 101. These were your words.
Yes, I remember.
Professional environments are mostly about managing perception and expectations. Unfortunately, few learn this far too late. A subtle game of transitioning from being the person who does the work to the person who solves the problem. A fundamental truth of the corporate world is that meritocracy, that's a word, often functions only as a baseline while the ceiling is determined by perception management. Those who realize this late often fall into the worker bee trap, assuming that high quality output speaks for itself. In reality, without a deliberate narrative, others will fill that vacuum with their own interpretations of your value. Very important. Effective perception management usually boils down to 3 pillars. You said one, the distinction between performance and presence. The second one, you mentioned strategic narrative. Framing is rarely about bragging.
Yeah.
The third one, you said the silent network. And here you said perception is often formed in rooms you are not.
Yeah.
Most successful professionals understand that their reputation is a product of social proof, ensuring that their peers and superiors have a consistent, positive narrative to share when their names come up in closed doors, when they are doing reviews and strategy sessions. Right?
Yes.
These were your own words.
Yeah.
I just took a screenshot of what you shared. Before we go into the conversation, and this is the baseline of our conversation today. What were you thinking in that moment? It was a Sunday morning that you shared this. What was in your mind?
There was a Sunday morning. Usually my Sundays are a bit slower than the normal other days because, I've done 6 days of hard work, so Sundays usually home, family, and trying to actually wind down. What did I do this week? What am I planning to do the next week? So, and that morning, I was going about my usual, like taking toll of what I've done. And then it crossed my mind. And what crossed my mind was, oh, by the way, I think when I looked through, I'm like, okay, I've been around this thing over 20 years. So I'm like, okay, fine.
The corporate thing?
The corporate thing, around 20 years. So I'm like, okay, fine. How did I even get here? Mm-hmm. So as I was just thinking through it, so it began coming to my mind. I'm like, okay, fine. I've been to places where there's lots of politics. I've been to places where there's actually no politics. I've actually been to places whereby even when you don't want to be part of the politics finds you. I've been in places whereby I've actually been on beyond mid-management, senior management level. And then you see, okay, fine. Sometimes you go, they get you surprised. Yeah? Something catches you very surprised. You're like, hey, by the way, how come I didn't know about that? So in my head, I'm like, okay, fine. I think I should share something about getting around that management space or being into the corporate world with the forum that we're part of, the group. So I looked up some stuff and then came up with some writing. I'm like, okay, fine. I think I'm ready now to write something about the corporate world. And then the baseline of why I shared what I shared was people don't want to believe that perception and expectations play about 75% and above of one's success in the corporate world.
Perception, expectations.
And expectations.
It's your own expectations, other people's expectations of you.
It's two-way. Mm-hmm. It's two-way. Because either can fail you. But most importantly is whatever you need to distinguish between what are my expectations, what are the corporate expectations. Mm-hmm. Okay? Definitely perceptions, those are way out of your league. So for you don't want to control. What would I say is that you may not be in position to control what your perception will be, but you're in position to influence people's perception of you.
Yes.
And that's what actually, those two is what actually crossed my mind that day. So I'm like, you know what, let me put something out about this. And that's actually when I wrote that whole post coming up on a Sunday.
Had something happened before that triggered your thought on perception and expectation, like in the recent past? I know you've been here for 20 years, but in the recent past, had something happened and you thought, this is dragging people down and someone has to say something about it?
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
You want to talk about it?
Definitely. Would I talk about it? I don't feel like talking about it.
Okay.
I don't feel like talking about that.
That is fine.
Yeah.
So you felt that in the group that you shared, people would understand. Do you think we fully understood what you meant with the perception, expectations, and how you have to create a narrative about your value, or you leave it to chance for people to interpret? their value, your value.
Yeah. Actually, what made me... Actually, I remember that conversation. It was Viola actually that got into the conversation.
She was.
Yes. We did actually go ahead debating about it for about 4 hours. It went well into about 3 or 4 o'clock. And I like the kind of conversation we're having about it. Because what happens is there is the ideal world, ideal corporate world, the reality that people don't want to acknowledge.
Not the reality. The ideal is what we are told it is.
Exactly.
What it should be. The reality is different.
Different.
Someone says, ku ground, chirala moko.
Exactly.
It's very different on ground.
Exactly. Exactly. So there's that ideal world people have in their heads.
Yes.
And then there's the reality of the corporate world.
Yes.
And those two are distinct. And trust me, they're mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive. You need to get to understand both of them.
Yes.
And know how to tread. Okay? And
Yes.
so one of the things actually that pushed me so much to write about this is, I mean, let's get out of our skins and just look at the world that it is, the corporate world that it is.
The way it is.
It is. And people that have that honest conversation with themselves will win. Okay? Because, you know, at the end of the day, the world in your head is a world in your head. Nobody has control over that apart from you. Okay? It must be utopia or the fantasy. I mean, you live in there, but when that world hits the real corporate world, you better be ready to navigate the real corporate world.
I like the fact that you said that we need to get real with the reality. We have to be very comfortable with the reality.
Yep.
We have to look at the reality the way it is.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yep.
There is ideal reality that, like you've said it, and it's mutually exclusive.
Yep.
So now we are tackling the reality. I have questions for you, Mr. Annie, Mr. Ssekisonge.
Yep.
So we are talking about hard work. Is hard work alone enough to grow in a corporate space today?
No, hard work alone will only take you so far. Yeah. I've had this say that goes around, I don't work hard, I work smart. I mean, whatever way you want to skin it, hard work will only get you so far. First of all, are you hard working on the right things? It's more like people say and believe. You know, it's not about speed, it's about the direction you're going to. You may work hard on the wrong things. I mean, really, at the end of the day, there's no value in that. But then again, even if you work hard on the right things, okay, you need to actually get out there and put yourself out there and show it, okay? By showing it, I don't mean that you need to actually brag about it. I don't need you. It's not bragging. It is actually delivering the work that you do. Look at the value that you bring at the end of the day and communicate that value and communicate it with clarity, yeah? So hard work will always be hard work as a bare minimum.
How do we define hard work in this case?
I mean, hard work is, at the fundamental level, hard work is, I mean, somebody gets to work maybe at, maybe your contract is maybe 9 to 5. You are at work by 6. You leave by 10 in the night. And whatever is there to do, you do. Okay, you have no boundaries of, I mean, you can't even push back on whatever is coming your way. Okay, you may be having a lot on your plate already in terms of your deliverables. Somebody's looking out for somebody else to help them. You're available.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's going to also compromise on your KPIs at the end of the day. So it's somebody, for me, I define at the fundamental level as somebody. Hard work is, I mean, being there, doing all the things. You may be doing them right, which is a good thing. But then that can only take you so far. Okay? After doing what you've done, you need to communicate the value that you've actually done it with, or the value that you've brought forward from what you've done. Yes. And so for me, it's that the hard work will always be the hard work. And you've seen actually in the corporate space again, until you communicate that value of the hard work that you're doing, somebody can also claim it. We've had those spaces happen. Okay? You do something, you know you did it. You build it up. If it's a strategy, you came up with something very good. If it's a tactical execution that you need to do, you do it very, very good. And then somebody takes it out from you. We've done that. I mean,
communicates your
exactly.
what you've
Exactly.
delivered.
So at the end of the day is, yes, you do the hard work, but then communicate the value at the end of the day. This is the value that I did. And you need to be very, very clear. One thing I also saw is that one way to communicate that, because people make questions like, okay, fine, how do I communicate what I've done?
I was going to ask the same.
All the same question. How do I communicate what I've done? One is, be very, very clear on what has been asked of you in your roles, whatever.
Don't create your own questions.
Don't create your own questions. No, be very clear on what is expected of you or what is needed of you. Have that clarity of your role, of your KPI, of your deliverable. Agree to that. Maybe with your peers, with your line manager, all downwards, with the people that you supervise. Then go ahead and execute it. Be very, very clear on what do we expect at the end of the day. At the end of the day, what do we expect? What were the results? Okay? What is the end goal? Okay? And then how do we pivot along the way? Okay? If we are going off, how do we get back? Then when you get that from the point A of understanding what your KPI is or what your role is or what has been expected of you, along the way, pivot, do the right thing. I mean, you might not get it the very first time. But then at the end of the day, when you stand at the finish line, look back and see, what did we expect? Did we achieve it? And if you did, I mean, you can communicate that, okay? We started out on Project A. These were the deliverables. Along the way, this is what we did. Here's where we pivoted. It may not be you alone as a person, maybe you as a team, okay? That's just, again, claim that work, communicate it. And these are the results that we expected. Did we get them? Yes. Oh, yes. I think we did a good job. Did we get them? No. What are the learnings? And one of the key things that I want people out there to notice is that emails are meant for
Communication, I want to think.
beyond that. What do you think?
Keeping a track record.
Exactly. Emails are meant for record. Point blank. And if you are at work and then you get an unexpected email that you didn't see coming, it's a reality check. You're like, okay, now what are they driving? Somebody's driving something.
Yes.
I need to look out for it as soon as you can. So you can put that on email. How you happen. This was the KPI, or this was what was expected of us. This is how we handled it. These were the results we got if we achieved them. If we didn't, these are the learnings we got. So next time we'll handle it this way. That email will be communicated.
Communicating to who in this case?
Stakeholders. Because usually projects have stakeholders along the way. And the milestones, actually, usually. And during those milestones, because they're like reviews. And in the reviews, put it out there. Be it with your MD, be it with your maybe function or business leader, be it with your peers. Put it out there. At this milestone, this is what we've done, or this is what I've done. Okay? Along in there's a lot of hard work you've gotten in. Maybe sleepless nights, maybe even not seeing your family enough, leaving home early, getting home late. Now that is the behind the scenes hard work that you've been doing. So nobody will know that, and maybe nobody will want to understand that. But now let that hard work be seen in the value that you brought. And that's what I'm saying, that's how you link up the two. I want to communicate my sleepless nights. I want to communicate my... Nobody wants to know that. But it's a good thing to understand, actually, and talk about. And before I even go ahead, I had a friend was telling me, usually when I'm chatting up people, I'm like, hey, how are you? How is family? So they were like, but why do you always ask me how is family? And I told them, I've come to realize all this time that whatever we're doing it for family.
That is true.
And until somebody needs to understand that you also know the people they care about, and you're also interested in knowing how they're doing. So to get back to where we were is that my hard work, should be actually a discussion I should be able to have in my corporate environment. Unfortunately, like we said, that should be the ideal. In the real corporate world, I don't think many of us are in spaces whereby our line managers actually sit down with us to know what our families are going through, or if even my kids are happy, or if even my wife is happy. So what do you do in that kind of space is that hold that back. If the culture doesn't let that happen, then communicate the value. Project A came from A to Z, and this is how we did it. This is how we won. Okay? So by that way, put it on email, communicate it in meetings. Okay? People will now get to understand, fine, this is how this whole project came about, and this is how it actually been transpired to where it is now.
And these are the people who are involved, and these are the setbacks, and this is how they are managing.
Yes. These are they're managing. Like, they love to call it open communication.
Yes.
Which is actually a very, very good thing. And part of that open communication is actually communicating the value pertinent to that particular project or idea or strategy, whatever it is that you're dealing with as a company. So you show what your input was and how actually you delivered it.
Great. I am smiling because this is exactly what I needed to hear about hard work. You know, we have very many people who say that I am hardworking, but can you define hardworking? And you've just broken down exactly, you've given us a masterclass on what hard work actually means and how we can change it to give us meaning or to bring value to the corporate world. So we have a second question for you is we've seen some people getting promoted and others are being dispensable in the same role for years. What could be causing that?
Promotions are a very delicate subject at work. We've seen promotions come through politics, definitely. And that's a reality of the corporate world. And we've seen people actually passed over for promotions, not because they can't
That
deliver
is true.
the needed or work plan or anything, but just because there's disliking for them or something. And we're humans at the end of the day. Okay, people will love you, people will hate you, even some for no good reason. And that's the world we live in.
It happens, yeah.
We need to face it as it is. So one thing is that one thing in the corporate world that people need to do is positioning themselves for the next success. Positioning is actually very, very key. But now the downside to it is that for you to position yourself, you need to be aware of what's coming your way or what's coming up. So you won't position yourself for something you don't know. So that means now, at the end of the day, you may need someone on the other side. That's if you're still actually going up the ladder. You may need someone on the other side.
A sponsor?
A sponsor, a mentor, a coach, okay? That actually gets to see and let you know of what's coming up for you to position yourself. Because it's one thing positioning yourself for something you know, and another positioning yourself for something you're actually not aware of.
Oh, that is not there at all.
That is not there at all. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. And I'll give you a story. A friend of mine told me he went for an interview someplace. Overqualified. Very good. It's a role he could do. But now, the feedback that they got after, they were like, you qualify for this role. And you'd have this role. Unfortunately, at this point in time, this is not something we are looking at. We'll get to you
What
when...
weren't they looking at?
No, like he came up, the positioning he had for the interview and everything was for somebody, I mean, I've been there, I've done it, I can do this, you see me, excellent. But now he positioned himself for a role that actually wasn't there at that point in time. Yes, he could do the current role available. But now, when people look at it, they're like, okay, fine, maybe it's over.
Did he position himself on the role above that?
Exactly. So it's just an example of what could happen. So at the end of the day is that you need to be very clear on what are the available opportunities.
Yes.
And they need to be actually existing opportunities at the end of the day. Because, I mean, you can't position yourself for 10 years for a role coming in 10 years' time. I mean, you're doing something very, 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 very not so good.
Very wrong.
I wouldn't say wrong, but I just said not so very good. Because, you see, you can't keep positioning for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a stretch. Okay? So you need to position yourself for what are those immediate? Because in 10 years, things are going to change. Technology is going to change. They're going to recruit new people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all going to be a whole roller coaster of things. So I think is that, one, people are passed on because of politics. That has happened. But most importantly, if you want to go up the ladder, you need to position yourself for the next bit of success that you want to conquer. And most importantly, you need to have people on the other side. A sponsor, a mentor, a coach.
Those that go in rooms that you're not.
Yes, those are in the rooms that you're not, and they can defend your name actually in those rooms that you're not.
Is there anything that one has to do to a sponsor to get them on board? How do you get a sponsor?
Getting a sponsor is a discussion that you need to have with your intended sponsor. Yeah, and there must be a reason why you're choosing on them. And you must be very, very clear, because at the end of the day is that people reach out for sponsors. It's in rare occasions that sponsors actually reach out for. For them to do so, they must have identified the value, a deliverable, or an understanding that you have that they would need for you to grow. And that's the best space to be in, for a sponsor to reach out to you, because they've identified the spot already for you, or a gap that you need to address. and they can actually help you get through it and grow, in the corporate world. But many times it is us that reach out for the sponsors in the corporate world.
As it should be.
Yeah. So when you reach out, or when you're planning to reach out for a sponsor, you need to be very, very clear on the why. On the why. Why would... And I know these people have actually also tried to sponsor along my way. And my very first question to them was, why me? I mean, why me? And during those days, I wasn't even MD of any company. I'm like, why me? So I need to as a sponsor, I need to understand clearly, why did you choose on me? What is it that you saw that I can actually help you with? So for you need to, first of all, you need to be very, very, very clear on why you're choosing your sponsor. That is one. Is it a value? Is it a skill, that you really want them to help you with? Whatever it is that you actually want to work on. Then, and most importantly, after that, you need to be willing to actually do the hard work. That's the other thing.
Yes.
Yeah, because if I'm going to get in and sponsor you, and you need to be willing to do the hard work.
Yes.
You need to be willing to actually go ahead and deliver on all that we say we're going to deliver on.
Because you don't want to be a sponsor of a failing brand.
Exactly. Yeah. So one, you need to actually total investment into the project. I'll sponsor you, fine, but we need to agree on this, how we're going to go about it. So, and I don't want to push you up front and then you have that inertia. No, we need to go. Okay?
All the way.
All the way. And then number 3 is that you need to go in with the mindset that it's not going to happen overnight.
And it's not going to be smooth.
It's not going to be smooth. It's going to be a hard discussion. I remember this place I used to work when they used to say hard discussion. People are like, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're going to have a hard discussion.
No one wants that.
I know, right? So it's going to be a hard discussion.
Yes.
So these are things that people need to look out for. You need to be very clear on why you're choosing your sponsor. That is one. 2, you need to be willing to go the long way. It's a long haul. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. Yeah, it's going to be step by step, and then you must be willing to put in the hard work. Once you agree on doing something, put in the hard work, and then get things done.
So you mentioned something in still that post. You mentioned something that professional environments are mostly about managing perceptions and expectations. We mentioned it when we were starting. Unfortunately, few learn this far too late. I want you to just go a bit and tell us how to manage our perception and expectations.
Okay.
Yes.
Expectations are set usually by the higher-ups. Okay. Now those are business expectations. Okay. As anybody in the corporate world, it is fundamentally on you to understand what those expectations are. Okay, and how you're going to deliver them. That doesn't mean that you must be 100% sure or 100% certain what you're going to do. You need help along the way, and be sure to ask for that help along the way. Those are the business expectations. But then number 2, that you as a person have your own expectations in this kind of environment.
Yes.
You need to align those expectations that you have with the expectations the company has. And by the company, I don't mean the institution itself. I mean the people you work with.
Yes.
Your line manager, your peers, the people that you manage, definitely, okay? Align your expectations with theirs, okay? Where the sweet spot to win is where those expectations actually kind of have an intersection. You may not win on all of them, but where you find that you have an intersection of the yours, companies, and your peers, that's the sweet spot to be in. The rest you can work around. So expectation is your expectation as a person, the company's expectations in terms of the structure and the business expectations, your peers' expectations. So it is, if it was a set, those are 3 sets. So the sweet spot is, where do these interact? It's very hard for people in the corporate world to miss out on a space whereby all this can come together. It's very, very hard.
There is always a point.
Yes, there's always a point. There may not be a 1, maybe a 9 of 10, but maybe there's a 2 of 10. You start with that 2. Build from that 2 of 10. Then go higher up, 3, 4, until you align. For me, that is one. And when you get to understand these expectations, manage them. If it is your boss, manage the expectations. Okay? And one of the things that I would say, just to describe and just fundamentally break down managing your boss's expectations, it's just a few words. Never let your boss be surprised.
So that
Never let your boss be surprised. Not in the boardroom, not in a meeting. Let them know. In other words, let your boss know what's happening. However bad it is, let them know what is happening. That way you're managing. And there's another way people look at it. That, you know what? I'll lie my way around until I get things done. Now that's there. That's there.
Yeah.
It is a way of how people want to manage expectations, definitely. Oh, no, I'll manage him until I get things through. I mean, that's not sustainable.
Good or bad, let your boss know.
Let your boss know.
This is how bad it is.
Yes.
It is what it is. We are
Yes.
fixing it.
Yes.
You are aligned.
Yes. Now, that's how you manage your boss. All expectations, management.
Yeah.
That's tell them, bad or good, let them know. Don't let them get surprised. Thinking things were okay, and you get to a meeting, you get to a boardroom, and things are not okay. I'm going to tell you, it's disastrous. Not for you alone, but for your boss, even for your peers. So, by managing the expectations of your boss is to let them know what is happening, however good or bad. Let them understand what's happening. Then work around the solution. Okay? Then managing expectations for your peers is to be very clear on who delivers what, when, and how. Okay? And how do we actually collect ourselves back in case we are failing. Okay? Manage the expectations that way. And in all this is honesty, feedback loop is complete. Okay? The feedback loop gets complete.
Yes.
We agree on what to do. If it's not working out, let's have the discussion. Let's work around it. Now, you're managing expectations. Not the other way of managing expectations,
Yes.
like you wait around
Yes,
until
yes.
things get done. No. Open, honest conversation, truthfully. That's how you manage expectations. So that by the time something happens, people are aware it's going to happen. If it doesn't, well and good, you solved it along the way. If it does, okay, we expected it. What's the worst that can happen? Communicate the worst that can happen. Then that way you're managing expectations. That's how I look at it from my point of view. Then perception, at the end of the day, it is how you're going to influence your presence as a person. You may not be in charge of, like we said earlier, you may not control how people will perceive you. I mean, we're humans
Yeah.
at the end of the day as a baseline.
There is a smear campaign that we shall talk about later.
Oh, hint. All right, good. So that happens. Yeah. But now it is you need to influence that perception. Yeah? In what you do. How you bring about your deliverables. How you express yourself. Okay? And definitely perception is more of at the core of it, perception is my perception of you, Sheila, is of how you've related with me
Yes.
over time.
Yes.
Okay?
That is true.
Yes, there's also a bit where people perceive others when they just met them
Yes.
as a default.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody defaults you to something.
That is true.
And I mean, that's out of your control.
And there is also how others have made them perceive you.
Exactly. There's also how others have made them perceive you. So there's lots of data sets here around perception. But what you can control is your influence. And that's within your control, and you can actually tailor make that to how you want to be perceived. Yes. And the other thing about how you control your perception, okay, is that you need to be truthful at the end of the day. There's authenticity in it. Yeah? Because again, when you want to manage your perception and then you're doing it from a place of not being authentic, all inauthenticity, then it's a bit of a challenge. You won't
break down.
sustainably maintain it. So your authenticity is who you are, what you value, what are your core beliefs. I mean, put them out there, okay? And along the way, definitely your perceptions also must be fitting in that particular space.
The
you're in.
environment.
Environment, exactly. In your corporate culture, wherever you're at, okay?
Yes.
So in other words, your authenticity, how does it thrive in that environment? It's also very, very key for people. So that way, when you do that, and also you've managed the expectations of your boss, of your peers, definitely the expectations for the company itself, and then your authenticity comes in and how it thrives within the culture that you're sitting in your organization, then for me, that way you're positioning yourself for either growth or even sustenance in your workplace. That's how I would
This
look
is
at
a
it.
whole masterclass. I'm getting two things. Authenticity cannot come without values. So there should be also value alignment between you and the organization.
Yes. Yes.
Otherwise, you can't be authentic in an environment where your values are not aligned.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, interesting. The other point of the pillar that you mentioned, the distinction between performance and presence.
Yes.
Yes. Talk more about that.
No, presence is your availability in what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay? You're available, the presence and everything. And performance is, let's say, your deliverables, what you've done over time, what is expected of you and everything. Now, the presence bit of it, how it connects now is when you're away, who is talking about the performance? You get it? You will perform whatever you do. Fine. It's okay. I'm in a boardroom and you're not there. Now, who is going to talk about that performance of yours? Now, for me, that's what I want to refer to as the presence. The presence. Because now, somebody is going to bring you in a room that you're not in and defend you. So that they'll be defending your performance and bringing your presence in a room that you're not in. What does that mean? Is that performance is one thing, but you also need presence at the end of the day.
How you come about, how people feel around you.
Around you.
Okay.
How you come about, how people feel around you, what people perceive of the value that you bring.
Very important.
You get it? So for me, performance is what performance will be. The question is...
So this is not it's not an isolated thing.
No.
It works together. We are talking about presence. We are talking about perception. We are talking about the hard work. We are talking about communication.
Yeah.
All these things work together to give you that presence.
The presence that you need.
Yes, that will defend your performance because your performance is not isolated.
Yes. So it is like performance will give you the stepping stone.
Yes. It's like getting a degree.
Exactly.
In Kampala.
You have a degree.
Yeah. It's like a qualification of staying in Kampala.
Then what?
Yes. Then what?
And at the end of the day, the performance in an ideal world would be everything.
Yes. In the ideal world.
Yes. In reality, performance is not everything. No.
Because you have egos to massage.
Exactly.
You have very many things.
Politics at the end of the day.
Politics that you have to manage.
Yeah.
Okay. So performance alone, it will bring the piety to make the EBITDA look good, to make the top line look good. But now, what is it doing to the people that you work with every single day?
Exactly.
That's what you're trying to mean.
Exactly. Do they value the work that you do?
Yes.
Okay. Or you just
do they perceive, not even value,
yes.
They perceive the work that you do as valuable?
Yes.
I am a good student. I got all your teaching.
I love that.
I got your teaching. Now, the silent network.
Yeah.
In your own words, you said, most perception is often formed in rooms where you're not. We've talked about that. Most successful professionals understand that their reputation is a product of social proof.
Yeah.
Ensuring that their peers and superiors have a consistent positive narrative to share when their names come up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure we've come across this saying that the meeting before the meeting is the meeting.
The meeting after the meeting is the meeting.
Oh, the meeting after the meeting is the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah? You heard that before?
Yes.
And that's true.
Yes.
It is true. Wherever you go, it's very true. It's not the meeting that you're going to go on. It is the meeting before the meeting or the meeting after the meeting. That is the meeting. And this comes to exactly this. I mean, at the end of the day is you need to build, like we were talking about earlier, you need to build that from the perception point of view. You need to build that consistent and positive narrative about yourself at the end of the day. So that even when you're away, you're not in that meeting before the meeting, all that meeting after the meeting, that consistent and positive narrative that people, all your fellow peers or your line manager has about you stands the test of time. They can bank it. They can hold it and say, fine, no, I know Ernest, I know Sheila. I think this and this and this can be delivered by them. All he is the fit for this position. All know maybe that Ernest did this or Sheila did the other, but I think there must have been a slip up. Let me reach out to them and get to understand clearly what has gone wrong. That is something. So now that is now the silent network you're building. Because you've projected yourself in terms of your authenticity, your values, and then the values of the company, you've built a perception around you, okay, that is consistent, that is positive. This is your line manager. You've managed the expectations in terms of letting them know timely what's happening, what's going wrong, how can we pivot. Your peers also understand that. You're delivering on the business end of the KPIs. Then you build supporters or you build pillars. Now, these pillars are the silent ones that actually will defend you when you're away. They are the people that actually will be like, vouch for you. They are the people now that will put you up, willing to be your sponsors, and then also let you know of when to position yourself for what roles and when they're coming up. So that is what I was looking at as that silent network. So you don't need to pay them a thing.
Yes.
They just need to believe in you at the end of the day. They believe that, no, Sheila, Ernest, we believe in them. They can do this, they can do the other. Or maybe we even believe in them. If they did a slip up, they can get back up, which is actually most important also.
So, Ernest.
Yes.
My God. It's good you're having this conversation.
Yes.
What I'm getting from what you're saying, there is something called tennisism.
Yes.
A solo win.
Yes.
In a corporate space, you cannot win alone. That's what you're communicating.
It is hard.
It's very hard to win
and
alone.
if you're going to win alone, I mean, you need to be a person like Elon Musk or something.
Oh, you have to be extremely rich,
There are lots of
skilled.
factors. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
So, and if you're someone like Elon Musk, then you're not in a corporate world working.
You actually don't even in
Yes,
corporate
but
world.
what are you
working,
doing there working in a corporate world when you should be
I know.
going in the to Mars?
Inventing a spaceship
things.
or something. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Tennisism is going to kill a number of people. And this silent treatment, when a silent network, when I looked at it, I imagined very many things. People going in rooms to defend a strategy, to defend a project, but you've had discussions, conversations before that.
Yeah.
When you go there, you're aligned. Whoever is going to say yes or no, you're managing them.
Yep.
This number, was it checked? Yeah. Ernest checked it.
Yeah.
And Ernest says, yes. In fact, I checked it with Edward.
Yeah.
Edward was, yeah. We reached finance. So that is the network we're talking about.
Yes.
And the thing is passed.
Yeah.
There is no way we are going to win as individuals. Individualism does not work so much.
No.
In a corporate space.
No.
Okay, that is.
No, you see,
a lesson.
even where we, as humans, we've evolved as a community.
Yes.
As a given.
Yeah.
It's very hard, and I don't remember history telling me there's a man who survived alone. I haven't read that anywhere. So at the end of the day, it's communal. We hardwired for community. Yeah.
Should I tell you something?
Please.
Even Jesus had 12 disciples.
Exactly. Actually, I just saw it coming. I just saw it coming. That was a good one.
Yes.
That was a good one. Yes.
He had 12 disciples.
Yes. So the communal bit of
Yes.
the human being can't be expressed anywhere further than the corporate world. Yeah.
So there are two things: the tennisism, the individual win, and there is a new word called Musevenism.
Tell me about it.
Musevenism will bring all of you, and he will tell you to discuss whatever it is that you're going to discuss. Of course, he knows what is going. He has the answer,
Yes.
but he will let you be part of the whole conversation,
Process,
the
yes.
appreciation of everything. And at the end of the day, even when he gives you that this is what we are going to do, you're convinced that you are part of the conversation.
Yes.
So I think those two things. The Musevenism works well in the corporate spaces.
Yeah, I'd want to term Musevenism as politics.
But Museveni is a politician,
Yes.
and we can talk about politics until the cows come home. I'll tell you that politics is bad, but politics is also extremely good.
Yeah.
Because politics is the same thing that we are talking about here, managing expectations,
Yes.
managing perception,
Yes.
managing people. How do you bring people on board?
Yes.
Jesus was going to heal the people. He didn't need the disciples.
Yes,
to go
but-
and perform miracles,
Yeah.
but he had the disciples to walk along
Yeah.
with him to go and perform miracles.
Yeah.
So me, I want, if there is a man that I admire in Uganda, okay, among the men that I admire in Uganda, I think I admire Mr. Museveni.
Yeah, actually, when I was talking to one of my workmates,
Yeah.
they live in Canada, and they were telling me he's a good man. They were telling me he's an old man, but he's good. Like he understands.
Extremely.
He understands what he understands politics.
Yes.
Yeah, and he understands governance.
Yes.
And it coming from him,
Yes.
and I don't think he's followed
Yes.
Museveni for more than a year or something.
Yes.
But I mean, a little bit we've discussed him,
Yeah.
and I've discussed with him about Museveni. He has also read a bit, and he told me when that was about the day after he swore in on 13th.
12th.
He swore in
On
12th,
13th.
yeah.
No, on 12th. The
Yes,
swearing in
swearing
was on
in,
12th, yes.
So I was telling me, he told me, no, the old man he's a good man. He understands governance and he understands politics. I want to think that he does really. I mean, 40
I
years.
also want to think that
is
he
not,
really does.
It's not a faint fit for anybody. 40
Because
years
you know how we
is
make
quite a long
noise about things that are happening, corruption A, corruption B. Now that is at a national stage. We are seeing the things
Yeah.
that are actually happening in the unit that we are working in.
Yeah.
We have eyes to see it at the national level, national stage, and we are ignoring that the same things are happening in the
At the
corporate,
micro, yeah.
yes, at the micro, in the micro space,
Yeah.
where we are a part of. So Museveni should have done that, Museveni should have done that, but what are you doing for you in your space?
In your space, yeah.
He's managing his people, and the country is still running.
Yeah.
Do we have gaps? We do.
Yeah.
So do we have gaps at a micro level where you have influence?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Musevenism is a word for me.
For you,
I
eh?
need,
That's
the
a
day
good one,
I'll
eh?
meet
The-
the president, I'll ask the president, how have you done it?
Yeah, by the way,
Yes.
yeah.
Because Uganda is not an easy country. We Ugandans are also not easy people. But the guy puts you in order. And the country moves on. Anyway, I don't know Museveni's KPIs, but I know the KPIs in the corporate world, and I know there is politics in the corporate world, and we know there are very many things that should happen differently. Ideal and the reality. Happy that today we have Annie, who has given us a masterclass that needs to be paid for on the unwritten rules of the corporate world. So Ernest he's telling us that our minutes are done. I just want you to give us your parting shots.
So my parting shots are that let's be very clear on what the ideal and the reality of the corporate world is. And it takes you to have an honest conversation with yourself, okay? Don't live in your ideal world in the corporate world. The sharks will eat you up. I'll tell you, I've been in spaces whereby sharks eat people up, and it happens. It's a real world. So just immerse yourself in what the real world is. The real world, I mean, what is truly happening in your environment? What's your corporate culture? Understand your specific corporate culture, and where do you fit? If you find you are misfit, I mean, the next thing to do is tender in your resignation.
Yes.
And leave. If you find that you can survive in there, please, you may not be part of the politics, but you need to understand what the politics is and how to steer clear, or maybe hear it, don't get involved. But very, very, very key to notice is be very clear of the real world and the ideal world, and most importantly is make sure you influence your perception and also manage expectations in your corporate space. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Ernest. You said something that don't get involved. I would want to disagree. Get involved in politics. Because if you don't get involved in politics, it's going to eat you. It is going to eat you alive. Politics, decisions are made. When you're not involved in politics, it means you're not going to be part of the decision making. And you be the same person who complain about the bad decisions that have been made. If you don't get in politics, it means you're not going to rally people around you. How are you going to form your silent network if you're not being political? Politics is good and bad. There are people who are using politics to benefit themselves, but also others use politics to give them stability and sustainability. You cannot influence your perception. You cannot form your silent network. How are you going to manage your all these things you've been talking about them? And I was looking at one thing. This is playing politics
Yeah.
well.
Smarter way.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And you, when you look at corporate politics, what I would love to say is people play politics.
Yeah.
But even how you play it matters.
Yes.
Okay?
That I agree.
Yeah, how you play
That
it
I agree.
matters. Because, like you said anyway, that it will get you wherever you are,
Yes.
whether you like it or not.
Whether
But the
you
thing
like
is
it,
that
you keep quiet.
smarter way of playing politics.
Yes.
Get in there. What is within your control, manage it. What is out of your control, let it pass.
That is right.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a Bible verse that says that I will not exercise myself on matters above me. So if the matters are above you and you will see the above your pay grade, do not exercise yourself in those matters. But if it's something within your circle of influence, please go in there and change the sphere. Thank you so much, Ernest, for coming.
Welcome.
And for our viewers, thank you so much for staying with us. Please subscribe to the channel and share this message, because you don't know how many people you're going to impact by just sharing this message. And that is the only way we come back here and we give you more unwritten rules in the corporate spaces.